Hello everyone. This is second video for discussing the syllabus of anthropology, and in the previous video we have discussed from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Now we will start with chapter 6, which is anthropological theories. So in anthropological theories there are different theories which have been given by different thinkers, and they all explain how the culture evolves, or what is the different meanings of the culture. So like this classical evolutionism, this was given by Tyler, Morgan and Fraser. So all of them have supported classical evolutionism theory. And what this theory is, actually this theory says that means man evolved in stages from the primitive form to the modern form, and there are different stages. So they have explained each and everything, whatever there is in culture, like religion or your kinship, or your family structure, your marriage, everything they are going to explain in the form of evolution. That let's say initially, let's say they have explained marriage, so they will say that initially there was a promiscuous marriage, means a woman can have sexual relationship with any or many people. Then from there this poly marriage came. Then from there mono marriage, or right now we have this monogamy, so that came. So from promiscuous to polygamy to monogamy, something like that. So every thinker has given his own formula or his own theory, that how different organs of the culture have evolved. So this we will study. Basically we will study Tyler, Morgan and Fraser. Then second theory is historical particularism. This was given by Boas, and his full name is Franz Boas. So according to him, every culture is very unique, and you have to study that particular culture. So that is his theory. We will study later in detail. Then diffusionism. This was it has three schools: British, German and American. And diffusionism is just opposite of classical evolutionism. According to classical evolution theory, means all the uh, things, whatever evolution has occurred, that has occurred in different parts of the world individually. Like in India the evolution has been different, so it is very unique, and they have given some theories like psychic unity of mankind and all. So those concepts we have to mug it up. And now diffusionism says that not in each and every part of the world the evolution has occurred, rather means there are some cultural centers where the major discoveries have happened, and from there they have diffused, means the other people have taken it from that particular major culture center. So this is the concept of diffusionism. Now here also different thinkers, like British thinkers, have given something different. There will be a slight difference in German thinking, and there will be slight difference in American thinking. Let's say there will be some culture area concept given by Germany, or given by American people, that cultural circle concept and all those things. So whatever specifics will be there, we will study later. This is just to give you an idea what is diffusionism. Then functionalism, this was given by Malinowski. And structural functionalism, this was given by Radcliffe Brown. So these theories also are something like this. So according to this theory, Malinowski's functionalism, every whatever cultural materials or whatever we have in our own society or culture, everything is having some function. There is some function, and every function, due to function of different cultural materials, those particular cultural traits or things survive in the society. And Radcliffe Brown, he has given something similar, but he basically talks about the structure of the culture, that what is the structure of different cultural traits, and how the structure helps in propagating culture, and culture helps in propagating structure, and all those things. So this also we'll study later in detail. Then this structuralism by Levi Strauss and Edmund Leach. So they are talking something different. They are talking about mental structure, not just the physical structure that is given by Radcliffe Brown. He's talking about cultural structure of the society, and here they are talking about the mental structure, that how our psychological thinking, our own thought process leads to formation of the culture. So this will study in structuralism. Then next theory is culture and personality. This was given by Benedict, Mead, Linton, Cardiner and Cora Du Bois. So according to these particular theorists, like culture leads to, means different personalities, means different cultures have different personality people, and according to some thinkers, among them only, personality will lead to culture, and some says that both affect each other. So Benedict has studied some tribes. We will just remember that and mug it up. and Mead has studied some tribes. Then similarly, Linton, Cardiner, and Cora Device, they have given some concepts like ideal personality, model personality, and then you will also learn about the societies that Mead has studied. So all this we will discuss later. Now next is neo-evolutionarism. So this was something, means first classical evolutionarism came, then in its criticism diffusionism came, and after that diffusionism these neo-evolutionists came, and they have given their own theories, they have tried to explain the cultural progression in terms of evolution only, but they somehow differ from the classical evolutionist, and different thinkers are like Childe is there, White is there, Stewart is there, Sahlins and Service is there. So White has given some concept based on means energy conservation and how much energy you utilize. So based on that he has given some concept. Then Julian Stewart has given multilinear evolution theory, and Childe has also somehow contributed like that. And Sahlins and Service, they have just means added all the theories of White, Stewart and Childe, and they have given their general and specific theory. So whatever the specific things are there, and what is the notes for that, what are the different examples that you have to give, we will study that data. Then next theory is cultural materialism. So this was given by Harris, and here also the very fixed note is there, means according to Harris, means different cultural traits or whatever cultural things are there, they have their own significance, and means material culture is dependent on what is the requirement of that particular society, how it is going to survive in a particular environment and all those things. So Harris concept is also, means he has derived some concepts from neo-evolutionist theory also, and this also we will discuss later. Then next is symbolic and interpretive theories. Turner, Steiner and Geertz, they have given their own theories, and according to them, means culture is symbolic, and means everything is not having the absolute meaning which you can gain from it. So for that also we will study later. Then cognitive theories, this was given by Tyler and Conklin, and in cognitive theory you will again understand about how the thinking process works in a particular society, and how the thinking is generated and all those things. Cognitive means relating to mental ability. Then postmodernism in anthropology. So this is the latest trend, and according to it, means you just cannot define, you cannot put anything scientifically. Means everything is having some criticism, and according to postmodernism, nothing is like fixed. So everything is variable, and it depends on context to context and person to person and all those things. So this is the latest concept. This has postmodernism has been very much of existence in almost all the social books. So this also we will study later. Okay. And one more thing is there, a lot of questions come from these theories, and this can be completed I think in 10 days if you give 3-4 hours each for 10 days. So once the notes, means we will have to make the notes, and then we'll have to just mug them up so that we are able to write different theories. You don't have to complicate this subject that much, you just have to keep it simple, and so that you can gain marks. After all, obtaining marks is the main issue here. You don't have to become expert in this particular subject. Then coming on the next topic, that is culture, language and communication. So from this chapter not many questions have came. Basically they can ask you that what is linguistic anthropology and what are its different branches. Then nature, origin and characteristics of language, verbal and non-verbal communication, social context of languages. So all this will come under linguistic anthropology. There will be a short note of 2-3 pages that if you study, that will be more than enough. Although in the this coaching classes notes, they have given a lot of material on this thing, and you don't need to study everything. So this is a very easy chapter, and the most important thing is that not much questions are asked from this thing. Means so it's not very useful to study it in too much depth. Then The next chapter is chapter 8, research methods in anthropology. So here basically they will be telling you tools, techniques, and different methodologies and methods through which you study anthropology, the different theories, how will you apply them, how will you test them, and all those things. So there are different things like fieldwork tradition in anthropology. So here you have to give which thinker or which anthropologist was the first person to do field work and whose idea was that, and you will have to give some examples like where this field work started, how many field works have been done among different communities, and all those things. Then distinction between technique, method, and methodology. So this is a question, this has been asked again and again, and here again you have to just understand the basic definitions of these three terminologies, and some examples of all these three terminologies. So you don't have to apply that much brain in this, just mug it up. Then tools of data collection. So there are different types of data collection methods like observation, like this fieldwork tradition. So here you will just go in the field means where these people whom you are studying they live, that is called field. So you can observe them and just write your whatever data you want, or interview is there, directly questioning and answering. Then schedule is there, questionnaire is there, case study method is there. In schedule or questionnaire, there will be some forms which you will give to the people and they will fill it out. The schedule will be there will be some person who will be going to the people and he will be helping them to fill up the schedule. But in questionnaire the people have to fill by themselves. So there are some advantages of questionnaire method and some advantages of schedules, so that we will study later. There will be some disadvantages also. Then case study method is there. Genealogy means family tree or family chart, in which not just you will learn about who was the means what are the different members in the family tree, also you will learn about their cultural aspects, how the property is inherited, and many different things, their lineage, and what is their filiation, and all those things. Whatever you have learned in that cultural part, we will apply it here in genealogy. Then life history, oral history. Oral history will contain a lot of things like myths, mythologies, and stories of that particular tribe or community. Life history of different persons, how they have perceived the world, and all those things. Then secondary sources of information, participatory method. Secondary sources means some informant who will be working with you and he will be giving you a lot of information. And participatory method, where means like rapid rural appraisal is there, and participatory rural appraisal is there. So people go there, and there are different methodologies through which people help each other and participate in order for data collection. So all these terminologies are there. There is fixed definition for everything. Just refer to the notes, and I think all these are given in Braintree notes, so you can just refer from there, and you can just mug it up and give. If any question comes from this particular topic, you can easily write it. Then analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. Again means once you have collected the data, so how you will analyze that particular data. Analysis means how will you determine that what is important, what is not important, which data is fitting in which particular theory or anthropological theory. Then interpretation means deriving some conclusion from that, and presentation means how will you present that data to the different people. So this is the chapter 8. This is a lot of questions have been asked from chapter 8, so this is an important chapter. Okay, then comes human genetics, and this particular chapter is extremely important, and from 9th chapter to 12th chapter, I think all this will come under physical anthropology. And in human genetics, you will learn, before that you have studied in chapter 1.7 about cell structure and cell division and mitosis, meiosis, DNA and mitochondria, cell organelles and all those things, chromosomes and all. So all that knowledge will be applied right now. So in chapter 1.7 not much questions were asked in the previous years, but from 9th chapter every year at least minimum 60 to 70 marks will be asked, and it can go up to 100 marks also. So you have to prepare this 9th chapter very well, and once you have done it, so it's like done. You have to draw a lot of diagrams in this particular chapter. Diagrams are extremely crucial in order to gain more marks. So I will give you diagrams when I will teach you these particular lessons. So those diagrams will be handmade so that you can also replicate them easily. Now this human genetics methods and applications. Now there are different methods to study human genetics. Now method for study of genetic principles in man family study, that is pedigree analysis. So these are some of the methods like pedigree analysis, twin study, foster child method, to co-twin method, cytogenetic method, chromosomal and karyo-type analysis, and all those things. So all these are some of the methods through which genetic analysis is done. Now I will give a brief meaning of these different methods like pedigree analysis. So here as means here a particular trait, let's say some disease will be taken, and it means its inheritance in a family will be found through different methods like questioning, interview, and doing this DNA analysis and all those things. So pedigree analysis means doing means like in genealogy you are finding how different people are related to each other. So similarly in pedigree analysis you will find how a particular trait is related among different generations. So here also there will be different types like X-linked, Y-linked, and all those things. So it's different type. It has never been asked, so we don't need to study that, but still I will teach you later. Then twin study and foster child. So here basically what they want to study is that if a twin is born, so it will be born from the same mother. So if its environment, like its upbringing is different, or it means different, same twins means having same genetic material, if they are brought and means they have studied in different places, so how their mental makeup is there, how they react to their environment, and all those things. So this is basically the problem of nature and nurture. Nature means your genetic traits, and nurture means your environment. So how the nature and nurture influence the twins or influence the foster child. Foster child means a family is there, so they will have their own kids, and they will have some kid they would have taken as a foster child. So how that affect the upbringing of those particular children. Then co-twin method. Co-twin means same siblings who have this particular twin will be co-twin of this particular twin, and all those things. So this also we'll study later. Then cytogenetic, chromosomal analysis, and karyo-type. Karyo-type means basically just making the diagrammatic representation of chromosomal, and cytogenetic is also related to chromosomes, study of chromosomes and all. So all these methods we will study in detail later. Then biochemical methods are there. Immunological method. Biochemical method, you will study that how different means whatever reactions occur in our body, or how we produce energy, how our blood works, how different enzymes work. So all these are related to some biochemical pathway, and study of those biochemical pathway will be biochemical method. Then immunological method, like you know that we have antibodies and antigens. So how those particular antibodies and antigens work, how the blood clots, and all those things we will learn in immunological method. Then DNA technology and recombinant technology. So here again DNA you know, and how to study DNA we would have studied in chapter 1.7. And recombinant technology means where the different DNA means this is a particular DNA, so we will somehow slice from here a specific part, and we will put another part here. So that is called recombination technology in DNA. So you also, there is a specific process for that. There will be biochemical enzymes which will be applied here in order to cut the DNA, and then there will be some enzymes which will lead to fixation of the another thing. Then you will use some transporter, like there is a bacteria which is used for this particular purpose. So all this in detail we will study later. Okay, then coming on the next topic, 9.2. Okay, this is a very easy thing, Mendelian genetics. And in Mendelian genetics, in man family study, single factor, multi-factor, lethal, sublethal, and polygenic inheritance in man. So now you should know about Mendelian genetics. Gregor Mendel, he did some pea experiment, and he has given some laws. So there are 4 laws. You will have to remember all those 4 laws, and how they can be applied to man family study, and how the inheritance occurs. So according to Mendel, like there are single factor inheritance he has explained, but there could be multi-factor inheritance also, that different genes work together to produce a specific result. Let's say in Mendelian genetics, according to him, if there are 2 plants and one is tall and another is dwarf, and this tall plant is dominant, so the resulting offspring will be tall only. So this is like single factor inheritance. But in multi-factor, what will happen, that if parent is tall and if a parent is short, so the offspring could be anything, means from tall to short it could be anything, and somehow this curve is drawn. So it the chances of being very tall are less, and chances of being very short are also less. So somewhere in between the height will be there. And it also depends on so many factors, like your upbringing, how much food you are getting, and all those things. And then lethal, sublethal, all these are different types of gene, and some lethal genes are there due to which your death will occur. Sublethal means they become lethal in a certain condition. Then polygenic inheritance, again this is a multi-factor, means same thing has been explained in a different way, that how different genes are helping in the inheritance in man. So this is a very interesting chapter, and we will study it later. Then coming on the chapter 9.3, concept of genetic polymorphism and selection. So what is genetic polymorphism? Polymorphism means there are polymorphs, monomorph and polymorph. Morph means different images, and poly means a lot of images. So a lot of genetic images are there for different genes. That is called genetic polymorphism. Its exact definition we will see later. Then Mendelian population means here also there is a specific definition for Mendelian population, that this population will be means something fixed, and it will be not breeding outside, and there will be full random breeding and all those things. So what are the factors which lead to Mendelian population, we will study later. Then Hardy-Weinberg law. This is a law which was given by Hardy-Weinberg. These people were statisticians, and they tried to give a mathematical formula in order to explain how the inheritance occurs in the human beings. So this is extremely crucial law, and it's fixed law, and you have to write whenever something comes from genetic polymorphism, or you have to explain these things, whichever I will explain you right now. So you have to talk about Hardy-Weinberg law, because this is very important and it will fetch you marks. Then causes and changes which bring down frequency: mutation, isolation, migration, selection, interbreeding, and genetic drift. So all these different terms like mutation, how it occurs means when the relative position of the chromosomes, or means some relative position will change due to some different factors like radiation or some other things. So that is called mutation. Then isolation means one population has been isolated, so they will have different characteristics from the population which is living in free society, and it is randomly interbreeding. So here it will become inbreeding in isolation. Then effects of migration, that if Chinese people are coming and settling in India, so I'm just telling by an example, so they will bring their own genes into the India, so that there will be a profound effect of migration on the genetic polymorphism, or the whatever the gene pool is there in the India. And also there will be interbreeding of Chinese and Indian people, and this can happen in any place. Like migration can occur between different tribes, from tribal societies to the urban areas and all those things. However, these are just simple example. The concept is I will explain you in genetic terms later. Then selection, how selection occurs. You have studied about Darwinism. So selection, and also there could be there are different selection methods which have been given in PNAT, so that we will study. Then inbreeding and genetic drift occurs in such situation where this isolation condition is there. And genetic drift is also a statistical phenomena, that if you take whole population, so it will have different characteristic, but if you will take a random sample, so it will show genetic drift concept. Genetic drift means drifting towards a certain genetic characteristic. So basically generally the drift occurs towards homogeneity. So all these things right now they may means you will hear them and you will feel like it is very complicated, but believe me, all these things are very easy. And this inbreeding concept is also related to somewhere genetic drift. Here inbreeding occurs when close relatives breed among each other and all. So when very close relative breed, so there is a different term for that. And inbreeding means closely related people. Yeah, consanguineous. So the when relatives mate among each other, so that will become consanguine marriage. And non-consanguineous, so it will not lead to interbreeding. Then mate non-consanguineous mating. Then genetic load, so those factors which reduce the survivability of particular population, that is known as genetic load. Then genetic effects of consanguineous and cousin marriage. So what are the different positive aspects, what are the different negative aspects? Basically the effects are negative only for the cousin marriage and consanguineous marriage. And also you have to learn here what are the different examples from the India and the different parts of the world, and where such marriages are prevalent, and why they are prevalent in those particular areas. Okay. Then coming on the chapter 9.4, this is chromosome and chromosomal aberrations in man methodology. So basically chromosomal aberration means you will study about chromosomes in chapter 1.7, and here you will study about different aberration or different abnormalities if some change in chromosomes occurs, so that will lead to a lot of diseases, so that you will study here. So numerical and structural aberrations, there are two types of aberrations. So either the numeric like in human beings 46 chromosomes are there. So numerical aberration, if the numerical aberration will occur, so instead of 46 it will become 45 or 47 or something like that. So either it will lose some chromosome or gain some chromosome. In a structural aberration, what will happen, that some chromosome, let's say, they will break apart and they will join somewhere else. So there are different structural aberration that has also been explained by different terminologies like addition, subtraction, and mating up together and all those things. So all this we will study. Now these are some of the diseases that have been given due to chromosomal aberrations, like sex chromosomal aberration. Here Klinefelter syndrome is there, Turner syndrome is there, super female syndrome is there. Then intersex and other syndromic disorder is there. So in Klinefelter, as you can see, normally the human beings have 46 chromosomes, and that will be either XX, that will be female, and XY, that will be male. So this XY, this is the 45th and 46th chromosome, and this is a pair, and which decides what will be the sex of the children. So in Klinefelter, what will happen, that one particular chromosome will increase. So let's say a female was there, XX, so one Y chromosome becomes more, so that will lead to Klinefelter. Or XY was there and one X comes extra, so that will also lead to Klinefelter. And similarly Turner, as you can see, there is XO, so that means that it is having 45 chromosomes only, and here Y is missing or X is missing, so something is missing. And you should know that basically Y comes from father, that is sperm, and X comes in ova or the female ovum egg, only X chromosomes are there. So Y and X can come from father, and if the sperm is having X chromosome and the egg of the female is already having X, so it will X and X will lead to female. Similarly, if the sperm is having Y, so Y and X will lead to male. So here let's say this this sperm is not having just Y, it is having YX, so it will become XXY, that will lead to Klinefelter syndrome, something like that. So similarly super female, if this egg is having double X and sperm is also having X, so it will lead to super female. So what you are going to study in these chromosomal aberration is that what are the different characteristics. You have to draw a diagram for all these particular diseases, and you have to tell the specific characteristics of all of this, like in Turner syndrome, let's say that or in super female, let's say the height is more, the breasts are bigger, and there will be some abnormalities and all those things, so that you have to write. Then autosomal aberration, this sex chromosomal aberration occur only in XX and XY chromosomes. Now autosomal aberration, autosomal chromosomes are the remaining 44 chromosomes in the human beings. So 44 plus 2, this plus 2 chromosome determines sex, and these 44 chromosomes are autosomal. So if something abnormal occurs in these particular chromosomes, either numerical aberration or structural aberration, so that will lead to autosomal aberration. So there are different types of diseases that they have given, like Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, Edwards syndrome, and Cry-Duchat syndromes. So all these they also have definite concept, like Down syndrome will occur if something is missing from 23rd chromosome or 21st, I am not able to remember exactly. Similarly, Patau will be 13, or Edward will be 13 or 18, something like that. So all there, which on which particular autosomal chromosome this particular aberration occurs, is whether it is structural or numerical, and what are the different features through which you can identify that whether it is Down syndrome or Patau syndrome or Edward syndrome or not, and what is the life cycle of these people who are affected by these particular syndromes, whether it is lethal or non-lethal. And you'll have to draw a lot of diagrams also, like for Down syndrome you'll have to show that the people are having mongoloid features, they are having simian crease. So simian crease is something like, this is your hand, so some crease is like this, it will be built on your hand, so that is called simian crease. Then all those things are there. So we will study the specific features later. The next topic is genetic imprints in human diseases, genetic screening, genetic imprint, how it works. Imprinting means how different characteristics evolve, means how they show off in different humans and how they are leading to diseases, that we'll study. Then genetic screening, genetic counseling. So here you can see that different people have different susceptibility, means they can be affected by different genetic diseases, and if two people who are more susceptible to catch genetic disease together, so there will be genetic counseling in which they will be asked not to marry each other, and all those things are there. And there are many more uses of genetic screening and counseling. Then human DNA profiling and gene mapping and genome study. So all these genome studies are means this was a study done in USA, in which all the human genomes were classified and they were separated and all. And then gene mapping, how it happens, and how genome study helps in gene mapping. Human DNA profiling, how you profile your human DNA, different genes in different categories. So this we'll study later. Okay, then coming on next topic. Okay, this is chapter 9.5, race and racism. So here you will study what is race, concept of race, what is racism. So according to different, means earlier people were given different races based on their biological criteria, like their sex, their skin color, their physical features, and all those things. Now it has been proved that there cannot be any fixed race. So that is just a theoretical concept which was given earlier, which has been rejected right now. So what is the concept of the race, what is its definition, how it has been rejected right now, and what is the concept of racism. Racism is something which is like discrimination based on the racial concept. So this is a cultural concept, this is the biological concept, so this we will study later. Then biological basis of morphological variation of non-metric and metric characteristics. So biological basis means whatever natural basis for morphological, means whatever morphology means your external appearance or characters, or whatever is your external shape. So there are different shapes, and non-metric and metric. Metric means which you can measure, and non-metric means which are non-measurable. So all this and how they are affecting the morphology of different people, so that will be studied in this particular chapter. Then racial criteria, racial traits in relation to heredity and environment. Then all these things like racial criteria, what are the different criteria on which different races have been defined, like Caucasian is there, Negroid is there, Mediterranean is there. So all these things, what are the different characteristics that they represent. And in paper 2 of anthropology, you will also study a lot of different racial classification of the Indian tribes and Indian society. So this particular learning will help there also. Then racial traits in relation to heredity and environment. What is the effect of heredity on racial traits, and what is the effect of environment on racial traits? So again, the Mendelian polygenetic and monogenetic inheritance and all those things will come into picture here. Then biological basis of racial classification, racial differentiation and race crossing in man. Race crossing means when different races are mating with each other. Let's say a Negroid people or a black person is marrying a white woman, so that will be race crossing. So all this we will study. Then 9.6 is age, sex and population variation as genetic marker. ABO, Rh blood groups, HLA, HP, transferring GM, blood enzymes, and all those things. So all these things are different types of bloods, and means their blood traits. Like there are different A, B, and O, A, B, A, B, and O. All these are the different types of blood groups, and what is the genetic marking for them, and how you identify them, and how it varies among different age group, among different sex or different population groups. Like people living in India have different blood types, and that is means, let's say B blood type is more in Central America or something like that. So we exactly don't know which blood type is means more in which particular area, but this is how we are going to study this thing. Then RH means that there was a rhesus monkey in which this particular blood group was found, and this is also found in human beings. So you would have studied about RH positive and RH negative and all those things, so that we will study here. Similarly, HLA, HP, and transferring GM, all these also are some of the types, same types like this AB and RH. Then physiological characteristics, hemoglobin level. Physiological characteristic, physiology means like morphology is related to your external body structure, so similarly physiology is related to your internal body characteristics, which includes that hemoglobin level, body fat is there, then pulse rate, respiratory functions, sensory perceptions in different cultural and socio-economic groups. So here some cultural anthropology will also come into the picture, and how your physiology is determined by all these things. So then chapter 9.7 is concepts and methods of ecological anthropology, how ecology or environment is affecting different human beings, biocultural adaptations, genetic and non-genetic factors. Now these what are the genetic factors which lead to different adaptation, what are the non-genetic factors or the cultural factors. Say for example, if you want to live in a particular very cold environment, so you will have to use fire and warm clothing in order to protect yourself from extreme cold. So that is a cultural adaptation. Whereas biological adaptation, like the people living in the colder areas will be more having more fat, and that will they will be having bigger body, so that will lead to less heat loss, and they will be more warmer, and they will be also having white skin. So there is also a genetic factor related to that. So all this thing we will study here. Then man's physiological response to environmental stresses, hot desert, cold, high altitude climate. So physiological means whatever changes occur in your body, how it adapts to different particular environments like hot desert, cold desert, high altitude and all. So all this thing will be covered in chapter 9.7. Okay. Then coming on to chapter 9.8, this is epidemiological anthropology. Epidemiological anthropology is basically related to identification of various diseases and how to cure them. Then health and disease, infectious and non-infectious diseases. There are a lot of diseases, you will have to learn a lot, means some of them, and so that you can give them as examples. Then nutritional deficiency, and what are the different diseases which are caused due to nutritional deficiency. Then next chapter is chapter 10, concept of human growth and development. So in this particular chapter you will learn how the human body develops. So from the birth means how the zygote gets formulated in woman's womb, and from there how the birth takes place, and from childbirth how the how the growth of the body occurs, what are the different nutritional requirements that are required by the body, and then after that puberty will come, then after that teenage will come, and then you will have the adult life, then senescence will come, so you will become older, and then one day you will die. So all this process of from birth to death, that has been explained in this particular chapter, chapter 10. So the best part is that the questions that have been coming from this particular chapter, they are fixed, and every year the same questions are repeated. So all you have to do is just understand the concepts and mug them up. I am not saying that you can mug everything and just reproduce. You have to understand the things also, means understanding is crucial. But in order to write in the examination, you need to mug it up, means there is no option other than mugging it up. Then coming on to chapter 10, concept of human growth and development, stages of growth, prenatal, natal, infant childhood, adolescence, maturity, and senescence. So here, what is the human growth and what is development? How is growth different from development? That you will study. And different stages of growth. Prenatal means before birth, when the child is in the womb of the mother. Then natal, when after means birth and up to 1 year. Then infant, exactly I'm not sure natal what is it. Then infant, there will be some definition like from 1 year to 3 year. Then childhood from 3 year to 6 year or something, or 13 year. Then adolescence, something like that, from 13 to 18. After 18 you'll become mature, and then senescence will start from 40 years or something like that, when you'll start becoming older. So all these stages of growth, their limits are fixed, and their how they occur and what are the different characteristics, they all are fixed. So you have to just read that. You can find it in Braintree. Then factors affecting growth and development, like what are the genetic factors which affect the growth and development, what are the environmental factor, biochemical, nutritional, cultural, and socio-economic factors. So here also means it's like repetition of the same concepts which we have studied in 9.7 and 9.8, but in a different sense. So here the focus will be on how these particular factors affect the human development. Earlier it was mainly related to genetics. So, and the next thing is aging and senescence. So a lot of questions come on senescence every year, and there are different theories which have been given for the senescence, why people become older, why they die, and what causes the body degeneration, why can't we just keep on living forever and forever. So that is, there are different theories, like there is one antioxidant theories there, and then some oxygen theories there. There are different cultural theories and different biological theories, so all you have to learn and mug it up. Then chronological longevity, how means biological and chronological means how far you will live and why you will live up to that far. And then human physique and somatotypes means body types. There are different types of body types that you will learn here. Then methodologies for growth studies, means how different people grow in different environment and how they are related to each other. And there are different methodologies of that also. There are 2-3 methods, so that we will study here. So this is pretty easy chapter 11. Then coming on the next chapter, this is the chapter 10 is very easy. This chapter 11 is so super easy. Relevance of menarche, menopause, and other bio events to fertility. Now fertility, there is a concept of fertility, that the ability to produce offsprings, that is known as fertility. And there is also concept of fecundity, here it is given. So how fecundity is different from fertility, means fecundity means the actual potential, and fertility means the theoretical potential of being able to produce children. Then there are different phases like menarche and menopause. This occurs in women. You would have heard about menstruation. So when the menstruation starts, that is menarche phase, and when it stops at the age of around 45 years, so that is menopause. So what are the events that occur from menarche to menopause, and why these particular events occur? Then fertility patterns and differentials. What are the different fertility patterns in different populations? Then demographic theories have, there are different, demography means something related to population. So population theories, biological, social, and cultural theories have been given by different people, and we will study that. Then chapter 11.3 is biological and socio-ecological factors influencing fecundity, fertility, natality, and mortality. So mortality, you know that how many deaths are occurring in a particular society. Natality means how many births, and then fertility means the theoretical ability to populate, or means theoretical ability to produce offsprings. Fecundity means practical ability, or the that portion of the fertility which actually occurs, means. And there are different socio-ecological factors which influence fecundity. Say for example, a woman is working woman and she is not getting that much time with her husband, so there will be lesser children. If education is more, so people will tend to produce lesser children. If contraceptive devices are available, so then also the fecundity will become less than fertility. Then biological factors are also there, that in some environment there could be less production of the children. So again, this is a very easy and important chapter. And coming on to the next and the last chapter of Anthropology paper 1. So this is the chapter 12, and this is applied anthropology. Now this chapter is extremely important because every year almost 50 marks questions come from here, and the best part is that the answers are fixed in this particular chapter. Means if you would have studied a particular thing and you have just mug it up, so you don't need to think that much in the examination. You just write, just draw the diagram and gain marks. That's it. That is why anthropology is a very good subject. Now applications of anthropology, like anthropology of sports. So here you will have to study about different body types and how they can help in different sporting events, like leaner people can swim faster or they can run faster, something like that. Some medium body people have better boxing capability. Then nutritional anthropology, how the nutrition affects your body growth and how it can help, means how the balanced, what is balanced diet, what are the different components of your diet. Then anthropology in designing of defense and other equipments. So this will be a direct question, like tell some of the examples of the defense equipments and how anthropology has helped in designing that. So here you will learn about like how the guns, means this is a gun, so this handle, this can be made in such a way that it is very comfortable to hold on. So there will be some finger holes here so that you can put your fingers easily there. Or the helmets that is worn by the fighter plane pilots, then their dress, their boots, they have to means they have to, let's say they have to fly a plane, so they have to sit in that particular cockpit for hours and hours. So their seat should be very comfortable, their clothing should be very comfortable. So all these things will come under this anthropology of defense. Then forensic anthropology, how the different genetic principles and genetic concept help in detecting different crimes, and how you can deduce different evidences through forensic anthropology. This you will study here. So you can help in solving different murder problems or some theft problem or any other problem which involves human beings. Then methods and principles of personal identification and reconstruction. Here again something applied human genetics will come, like paternity diagnosis, genetic counseling, eugenics, euphenics. These are some of the terms which have been in practice, where the genetic technology will be used for the betterment of the society or for producing some superhumans or something like that. Then DNA, paternity diagnosis, you know that by means checking how much DNA is matching of children and their parents, so that will determine who are the real parents of that particular child. Then DNA technology in disease and medicine, how DNA can help in solving different diseases. Then serogenetics and cytogenetics in reproductive biology. Sero means something related to your body fluid like blood, and cytogenetics means something related to your basic genetic material like chromosomes. So and how their study will help in reproductive biology, that is the reproduction of children. So all these things you will learn in applied anthropology. So this is also a very important chapter, and since it is very scoring, so you have to just make the notes, make a lot of diagrams and just mug it up. So that's all in anthropology paper 1, and I hope you have liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and in the next video we will discuss paper 2 syllabus. So we'll start with paper 2 syllabus in the next video. Thank you so much.